Hello, I'm Mark Lamarr, and the story you're about to hear is true. Well, some of it is, probably. Some of it isn't. It's difficult to tell. It's important we get that straight right from the start, or not straight, as the case may be. There are, of course, two sides to every story, and as you're chronicling the history of Jamaican music, in which case there are hundreds. Right, that's that out of the way. So, ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Little Lee, Dr. Dick, King Perry, Wonder Man, Super 8, Tic Tac Teak, Pipecock Jackson, Jar X, Rainford Hugh Perry, The Upsetter, who are all, in fact, only one man.
Why are you so cavalicious? Yeah.
And a great man.
Why are you so...
This is the return of Liscus Perry, The Upsetter.
Everyone used to have a copy of Tighten Up Volume 2. Everyone remembers Return of Django.
We were just singing for girls. We were only singing for girls. We didn't even think about money.
I'm working out with the Spirit. All things are possible if you only believe. Then I said to the Spirit, of course I believe, I'm a believer. And you couldn't stop me if you try.
I am the upsetter.
Hello, music lovers.
Suffer, you're born to suffer.
Hugh Rainford Perry was born on the 20th of March 1936. Now there'll be some of you listening and you know who you are, with your train spotters notepads at the ready, where you can put them away right now. This is no exhaustive trek through the Lee Scratch Perry back catalogue. That wouldn't even be possible in 2 hours. No, this is a journey to the heart of the music and the man. To put these times into perspective, Jamaica was only just emerging from an era historians call the development of the peasantry, when many ex-slaves settled down as small farmers in the mountains or settled on marginal lands. It'd be another 8 years before the first free elections. So Perry was born into a time of transition in Jamaica. Lee's early life was hard.
Well, it was a rough life. As a kid, my father wasn't the type of father to have children love. He didn't care much about us, so he and my mother part. It was 4 of us. My mother take 3 and leave me with my father. They want to keep me. But I didn't really want to stay with my father because he didn't have that love. So I ran away. I ran away to a lady that I know in Hanover, in Kendall, and the lady took me to my mother in Saxham.
The young Perry, never one for schooling, left early and took a job driving a tractor.
I was in Saxham and all this time, and things wasn't like it should be because I didn't have no heavy education. I taught myself after leaving school. So I decided, no, I was working on the project in Negril. I was even driving one of the tractor. I started a tractor that nobody else could not start, and that means the job was mine.
Nani the Observer is also a Jamaican artist and producer of some note, having worked alongside the likes of Dennis Brown, the Ethiopians, the Heptones, I-Roy, Freddie McGregor, and a long, long list of others. And by the way, the name Nani is there because he lost a finger.
Yeah, my name is Nani the Observer from Kingston, Jamaica. Yes, well, I remember me and Lee Perry, we hooked up from 1967 in the record industry. I know him way back before we in the record industry. I know Lee Perry when he used to drive tractor. I do the same thing, learn to drive tractor too. And what was funny to me and amazed me with him, when he cleaned up the land, a tree can be big like this, and he said, hey, he looked at the tree and he said, I'm going to put down that tree and I'm going to put it over there. Where meanwhile the tree sat like this, I said, man, guy crazy, you're going to put it over there. Yeah, and he cut around and he dig around and he cut around and he cut around till when he realized he put the tree over there. So he was always have that craziness about him, you know what I mean?
As the old Jamaican proverb says, landscape gardening's loss was reggae's gain.
It's 10 to 12. The bewitching hour. Time for loving mama.
It wasn't long before Scratch, or Hugh as he was then, decided that the bright lights and large bass bins of Kingston were calling him in from the fields. The development of the sound systems is key to the career of Lee Scratch Perry. They took over from orchestras in Jamaican dance halls back in the 1950s. Ashley Chin was a photographer on Jamaica's daily paper, The Gleaner, and grew up surrounded by those sounds.
As a youngster, we used to go to parties almost every day because I lived downtown Kingston then. And I remember any time at all, any day or night, you could find a little place you can go because I really loved the music. Then I joined the Gleaner staff. At a young age, I was about 17, 18. This was in 1956, 57, when the music was just coming on. It was the only means of recreation then for some people, apart from going to church or having the traditional Jamaican, having a lick at the bar. But it was the music, especially for youngsters like me at 15, 16, not much money or no money at all. I really had fun going to a dance, all night if you wish.
First port of call was sound system owner Duke Reid, who perhaps didn't recognise talent when he saw it. Next on the list was the late and eminent Clement Coxome Dodd, label owner, sound system owner, and Duke Reid's main rival.
I was with him all my life, and I was like to be with him all my life. And that time I used to drink, and me and him drink, and me and him go home together and drop me off at my home. We were living on the same street, so we traveled together.
Working with Clement Coxome Dodd was a turning point for the young Lee Perry. The man who shaped Bob Marley into the singer with the Wailers was a founding father of reggae, with one of the first studios in Jamaica, Studio One. Scully Sims was one half of Bunny and Scully, a successful Jamaican recording duo since 1953.
Yes, now, what you say now, my brother? You want me to give you a little illustration about Lee Perry, better known as Chicken Scratch? All right. He met with Clement Dodd, well known as Sir Coxswain's Downbeat. He was just a sideman, a sidekick for Coxswain, you know? Coxswain would send him anywhere and he would run, go and come back as a youth growing up by trying to learn the music industry. And he did learn it very well from Coxswain. And he went on from there.
Chicken Scratch was the song that gave Lee his most enduring nickname.
Hello, guy in dirt black and blue tie. Why you looking so sad? Tell me why. Grab a skirt, come on, lads. Chicken Scratch, Chicken Scratch.
Although not released on vinyl at the time, Chicken Scratch was a monster hit in the dancehalls as an acetate. It was good enough to secure a 5-year recording deal for the 25-year-old and a place in the ranks of Coxsone sound defenders, who were given the job of keeping the musical edge over his main rival, Duke Reid. This often involved spying on other studios to work out which exclusives they had. When Prince Buster left, which is a whole other story, Perry was promoted through Coxsone's ranks and found himself auditioning singers. By the time of Jamaica's independence in 1962, Perry had impressed Coxsone with his great talent spotting, picking up, amongst others, Toots and the Maytals. Coxsone also increasingly used Perry's songwriting talents to royally diss his rival Prince Buster, and of course to make blatant sexual double entendres.
Hungry now.
As I went into a key
Roast Duck, credited to King Scratch and the Dynamites. Alongside tunes like Hold Down, Cookbook and the astonishing Rape Bait, Scratch soon earned a reputation for rude lyrics, or slackness as they call it in Jamaica, a reputation which thankfully didn't last. In 1965, Lee Perry met the young Pauline Morrison, who would go on to be Mrs. Perry and become the driving force behind the Black Ark Studio, of which more later. Pauline, unlike Country Boy Lee, was from Kingston Town.
I went to country, staying with my grandmother for a couple of years, and I came back to town, and there I met with Scratch Lee at the time. He was working with Coxsone. He did distribute records, and sometimes if Coxsone is not in the studio, he would interview singers and sometimes record in the studio. We met at Bournemouth Beach, where the Skatalites used to play. They used to be there on Sundays, enjoying the music.
Into 1966, and the situation on the street was tough. Violent gangs, the Rudies, destabilised the country so badly that the relatively new post-colonial government declared a state of emergency in August. Every noteworthy Jamaican artist reflected the political situation in song. The Wailers with Simmer Down, Derek Morgan with Tougher Than Tough, the Clarendonians with Rude Boys Gone to Jail, and Lee Perry with this. Run, Rudies, run.
You better keep on running. You better keep on running. You better keep on running. Run, Rudies, run. Another man behind you with a gun. Dog shall not steal. X and you have a meal. Evil deeds got to go.
Another significant Perry track from this era marked the beginning of a formal relationship with the Wailers, which would bear fruit in the early 70s. On Rub and Squeeze, Lee is backed by the Soulettes, a female group containing Rita Anderson, soon to be Rita Marley. On the massive hit Pussy Galore, the Wailers provide not only backing vocals, but also the rhythm from their own tune, Rude Boy Ska. And by the way, in Jamaica, rhythm doesn't mean the beat, it means the entire backing track.
Every man loves sweet Pussy Galore. She's a girl with plenty and more. When you are caught and you get out, just fall in love with sweet Pussy Galore. Pussy Galore can change your plan. Be nice to her and her man. She got charms, loving arms. Your plan must work out well. Don't tell it to Pussy Galore. Pussy Galore play very high stakes.
The early days of the Jamaican music business was very much a cottage industry split between 4 or 5 main players. John McGilvray owned the dub vendor chain of record shops.
Back in the days, the relationship between the producers and the artists, although it might have been a little bit more exploitive in the sense that the artists maybe weren't getting paid what they should have done, there was more of a kind of village type of atmosphere to the Jamaican music scene where everyone kind of coexisted in maybe a little bit more of a unified fashion, where they thought that what they were making was for their own community. You know, they knew that there was a market for it in England, some of the parts of the States, Basically, they knew it was a fairly small market and they operated within that market. And there was a love for doing that, which people weren't looking to the future. They were looking to make things that they felt were right for that time.
Scully Sims, one half of Bunny and Scully, reggae pioneers.
For the producers, it was hustling with the soft wax. But for us, the musician and singer, we had it as just pleasure. Because as to me and my partner, we were just singing for girls. We were only singing for girls. We didn't even think about money. We didn't even think the industry would get so large to what it reached now. Well, I am very proud to know that I am the first man to break the ice. 1953, when I and Bunny sing the first song with Val Bennett. I love you, I wish that you love me too. Please don't go, you know that I need you so. Come, come baby, baby let's sing the blues. Every night you want us to make a fight. Listen darling, I am in no quarreling. Come, come baby, baby let's sing the blues. Come, come baby, baby let's rock the blues. In those days. In those days, it was just pleasure. Yeah. Because you know, I tell you something. The first night I go to Barrelow, that is in Jones Pen, which is now called Jonestown. The first night I go to that dance hall, Barrelow, and 6 Machuki, put that record on the turntable and the needle touch it. Every boy jump out of the seat and looking a girl to get a dance. And I said to Bunny the night, I said, Bunny, you see that? You see that? Don't make it go to your head, you know, boy. Yeah, man. It was nice in those days, man. Very nice.
Clancy Eccles started working for Coxsone Dodd in the 50s, before recording his own great tracks like Fatty Fatty.
I really love you, Fatty Fatty, Fatty. I really want you, Fatty Fatty,
A man will release a record in Germany, another man release a record in Spain, another man release a record in Japan, and everybody have your name on it, you know. But you don't have no money. You don't know who have the record. You know that it be carried to England and give the man in England. You know that it carried to America and give a man in America. But you don't know who have the song. A man take the song all over and you don't even have a dollar. Sometimes I look for myself, I'd hurt myself, but I wouldn't even worry.
Scratch quickly tired of Coxsone getting rich from his ideas and discoveries, and just as importantly, became frustrated at Coxsone giving away his best work to other vocalists.
He didn't give me any money like for songs that me write and things like that. He just give me a salary. He hold me down at a very low salary. So I decided and said, I don't think I'm going to take it anymore.
Coxsone was much more conservative than Scratch. Who isn't? And although many of the musicians in and around Coxsone Studio 1 were Rastafarians, Coxsone refused to record songs which dealt with Rasta ideas. On April the 21st, 1966, Ethiopian ruler Haile Selassie visited Jamaica. Like thousands of others at the time, this was a turning point for Lee Perry, and he would soon turn to Haile Selassie for inspiration.
When Emperor Selassie come to Jamaica, the birds come down because they know their Lord has come. All the angels come down from heaven. You know who are the angels? The birds. That's the king, the king of kings. And when the king of kings come, it was like a holiday in Kingston to see the king of kings in person. It's no doubt that Emperor Selassie is the king of kings. He fit the description of King David, that slew Goliath is the government. Where the King Selassie is the king of music. That's King David. Selassie. Jalib.
Here, Ashley Chin, who was covering the event for the Gleaner, recalls Selassie's plane landing at Kingston Airport.
I remember the airport when the plane came in on the tarmac that morning. On the ground, it's loaded with explosive gas, and everybody smoking Jamaican terminology spliff jumped over the rails and converged on the plane. I got scared like hell. We had to run behind the plane to hide from the horde coming down invading the plane. And then somewhere along the way, more team of planner, they got wind he was there, and they called him and he spoke to the crowd, and we had some semblance of quiet then. But it was a very tricky situation, and until now some people want to know that the place did not blow up with all the cigarettes and the ganja all over the place.
Scratch decided that he wanted to become his own man, and so we enter the freelance period. He recorded with Sir JJ, Prince Buster, the magnificent Judge Dredd, and moved for a short time to working at WIRL Studios until he was replaced by Bunny Lee. Scratch then moved to Joe Gibbs, where he produced successful tracks for Cool Sticky, The Overtakers, The Melatones and The Versatiles, led by Junior Biles. Everything seemed to be going well, but Perry found himself in the same position with Gibbs that he'd been in under Coxzone. The inevitable breakup provided inspiration for our most significant Perry production yet.
Why be a funny boy? Why be a funny boy? Know that you reach the top and you turn big shot. All I've done for you, you don't remember that. When you were down and out, I used to help you out. But now that you win jackpot, you don't remember that. Now that you turn big shot, boy, you have big chat. You're lucky to have rice and peas a yard. But me,
People funny boy. It really mean when people down and out and they wasn't on top, I really used to help them out. And a change come in their life. And they don't remember that is I'm the one who used to help them out, so them start to show them things. So I write the song about it. Those songs sell because people did like the ideas of those songs, and it wasn't giving in me like royalty money for anything like that. It just give me one flat fee. So I decided to say, okay, people really funny.
I had a young baby at the time, and we were in the studio, and she kept crying.
Pauline Morrison, the ex-Mrs. Scratch.
He said, oh, she seemed like her voice wanted to be heard in the song, and we end up putting the baby's voice on the tape.
I want tonight.
I think it was the first reggae.
Although Scratch has claimed that the inspiration for this startling new sound came from the highly Africanized Pukamina or Pokamania church service, which by the way means a little madness, Clancy Eccles has different memories.
Oh, I was the man that went to the Pokamania church. The lady was saying, if you try to reach the top, you will want to see a job. And she was doing a lot of things, and she was working, and the musicians was playing, and the away and guitar was playing some things, and I loved what they was playing. And I brought them down to the studio. That's that.
But now that you win jackpot, you don't remember that. Now that you turn big shot, boy, you have big shot.
Whatever the precise origins of the track were, there's no doubt in the impact it had. Legend has it sold somewhere in the region of 60,000 copies, and bear in mind the population of Jamaica now is only about 2 million. The record certainly made enough for Scratch to buy his first car, an imported S-Type Jaguar. One thing's for certain, the upsetter had arrived. Apart from his string of dissing records, film was also a huge influence on Perry. On this track by Sir Lord Comic, Django Shoots First, Scratch is referencing the Django series of westerns. Clancy Eccles, like everyone else in Jamaica at the time it seems, was also a fan of spaghetti westerns, and his song Van Cleef would provoke Scratch into replying with Clint Eastwood.
He used to come along my shop, you know. When him come with Clint Eastwood is the boss. I mean, make a music for us, you know.
We used to do that sometimes. It's like we do a musical war just for fun. And they say, I am this and you are that. Then they say, Clint Eastwood is boss for leaving Cliff.
This is days of Rat Eastwood. I am the ugly one. If you want me, meet me at the big gun down.
I am Van Cleef. Die!
He was back in Levan Cliff, and I was back in Clint Eastwood because I did love Clint Eastwood as a star. He was my favorite star in the gun battle.
Clint Eastwood is boss for Levan Cliff. Clint Eastwood tougher than Levan Cliff.
I laugh about it because that's Scratch. Another day Scratch come down dressed with him gun belt.
Hey, Gringer. Hey, senor. You know, don't you pull a gun on a priest. See, Priano? And, pow.
By the late 60s, Jamaican reggae started to become a commercial property in the UK charts, and of course, Perry was at the vanguard. A stream of what can only be described as marvellousness followed and funded the opening of the Upsetter record shop on Charles Street, providing an HQ for Upsetter activities. We could play any number of tracks from this period: Night Doctor, A Live Injection, Medical Operation, Wet Dream and so on, but we won't. Go and buy it. Scratch's productions became much more, how do you say it, experimental? Something strange was afoot in the back garden of 5 Cardiff Crescent, Kingston.
Jedamawi arat myriad Christos kadamawi aili selassie Nibranen yapkan in Macedon Thus Belonial in Jedamawi ya Ethiopia Nigos ya Nigosti kadamawi Kibirila hamla, glory to God. Kibirila hamla, glory to God. Kibirila hamla, glory to God. Jah! Rastafari, the Almighty God, without any apology, saying by Noel Bartholomew Sims Scully, well known all over the world.
Hello and welcome to part 2 of The Upsetter. What you just heard was possibly the most dread opening sequence to a radio show ever. In fact, definitely. That was singer and percussionist Scully Sims reciting a prayer in Amharic, the language of Ethiopia, and underneath him, the deep dub heaviness of Little Flute Chant. We left our story with Scratch enjoying some international success with the Upsetters, but the sharp suits and close-cropped hair of the Rude Boy era were giving way to a new way of life. Some Jamaicans, and Lee Perry in particular, were becoming more sympathetic toward the teachings of Rastafarianism. Now, Rastafarianism is a confusing and unorganised religion with no hierarchy and no definitive philosophy, but briefly its spiritual side is based on the worship of Ethiopian Emperor Haile Selassie, or Rastafari, and his direct bloodline to David, while politically it draws heavily on the works of Jamaican black rights campaigner Marcus Garvey, who in the 1930s called for the descendants of slaves to return to Africa, and whose speeches are invoked in thousands of reggae tunes. Lee Scratch Perry's music and his life changed dramatically when he discovered this new faith. He led the way while other producers took a while to catch up, including Bob Marley, who we'll also look at tonight. But here's the man himself, Lee Perry.
Coxon will listen to his anti-Alec, but he's not too much. He wasn't that heavy in Rastafari, I think. He don't know the meaning of Rastafari that much. He know about street brawl, as a street fight and dancehall fight, but he don't know about the Rastafari culture.
Rastas face suspicion and often open hostility. Max Romeo recorded, amongst other reggae milestones, the classic War in a Babylon with Scratch at the controls.
When Rasta first emerged in Jamaica, it was really misunderstood. They think it was some negative revolutionary force. And as time gone by, they realized that it's not really a negative movement. It's really a spiritual thing. It's an alternative from modern days religion that is causing a lot of war in the world today.
Scully Sims, who you heard reciting the Rasta prayer at the beginning of the programme, was an early advocate of the religion.
Every Sunday, I prepare to get a flagging from my mother, because I have to leave the house from before breakfast ready to go down by Law Street and Market Street. That is where Denham Town School built now. There was a Rasta church there, and I have to spend the whole day Sunday there. And when I go home in the evening, my mother said, "Where you coming from?" I said, "Down Law Street, Mama." And she beat me. And one Sunday I said to her, "You better kill me, you know. It's you bring me." And you know what? I'm not going to stop going at the Rasta church. Because when I go down there every morning, I get a cup of bush tea and then read the Bible and play the kettle drum, and I love to hear the drum plate.
It was actually a culture shock to the people because Jamaicans are all groomed people, you know, we wear suits and hairstyles and things like that. So it was more a culture shock than anything else, and it was misunderstood. They start linking us to communism. That's when our main struggle started, when they start linking us to communism and things like that. I've had friends who was being trimmed by police. I mean, have them dread cut off back in the government of the 60s, 1962 coming down. Didn't like Rasta. So they ordered us to cut our hair, and if we resist, to arrest us and put us in prison. I have a few friends who was victimized that way. Actually, at that time, I wasn't wearing the dread, but in my heart, I was actually a sympathizer to the faith. And then 1973 was when I started wearing the dread.
Emperor Haile Selassie, who Rastas believe is the manifestation of God, left his earthly body on September the 8th, 1975. But he may live on in one man, and I think you can guess who.
Emperor Haile Selassie is alive because I am alive. Emperor Selassie is my father, I'm sure. And if I'm not looking like Emperor Selassie, something is very wrong to the sight of the people in the universe. The people who look at me and don't see Emperor Selassie, they better go and get an eye fix and get some triple lens glasses to see good. His Imperial Majesty Emperor Selassie, the King of Music and the Lord of Music, is not dead. He's hiding in Lisca's Perry head.
Another young singer was discovering Rasta. He was previously a member of a besooted vocal harmony trio called the Wailing Wailers. His name was Bob Marley, and his career had hit something of a plateau by 1970.
One cup of coffee, then I'll go. Though I just dropped by to let you know that I'm leaving you tomorrow. I'll cause you no more sorrow. One cup of coffee, then I'll go.
Pauline Morrison, Scratch's wife at the time.
He was with Coxsone. He didn't really want to go back to the same old producers again. He wanted something new. He said he liked Scratch sound and he would really like if Scratch would really produce him. So he used to come to the shop at Charles Street all the time, trying to, focus on Scratch, helping him to do some tracks. And I try reason with Scratch and tell him that, why not get together and do something? This guy is trying.
Tell the kids I came last night and kissed them while they slept.
The song that famously convinced Perry to work with Bob was My Cup, from 1970's Soul Rebels. With the lyric, "My cup is running over, I don't know what to do," it was something of a confessional.
Yeah, it was confession. He really did mean it. He don't know what to do. It's true. Then he said, okay. So I couldn't turn him down, I would have to accept him and look at him and say, all right, I see you screw your face. Bob could do this like screw his face, like he's mad. But if you touch him good, inside the heart was very, very, very good. I was looking inside of him, see the type of person he is. And there he was just an actor, but a very good one. And then it worked, and it was successful.
Scratch and Marley became instant friends. However, there was no love lost between Scratch and Bunny Wailer. Writer, producer and reggae expert Chris Lane visited Scratch's studio a couple of years later in 1973.
They were just like old mates. Bob was an absolute gentleman and him and Scratch got on together like good old mates. I've got to say Bunny Wailer was a bit subdued, a bit miserable even. Completely different personality to Bob. He didn't sort of really join in with anything. I mean, looking back on it, I wonder why he even bothered coming by. But yeah, he was a different person to Bob.
But there was a little problem with this Bunny is something funny. I think Bunny Wailer's inherit the evil eye. So the brain is full of grudge. When they see other people make money easy, they don't like that. Then people grudge it and they like it and decide to mash it up.
Clancy Eccles.
He said to me, him love Bob Marley. He's not the Wailers, but Bob Marley is like his little brother, and he loved Bob Marley.
And so, one of reggae's most creatively successful, if short-lived partnerships was born. Pauline Morrison.
They both start doing something which was really good. Some really airy vibes, some good vibes. Those tracks are some good vibes.
I would feel a little bit better, but I got
Most of them Big Tree, Small Axe, Dopey Conqueror was written by me in my toilet.
And he would take the cement bag and he would write his songs.
When I'm writing each song, I write them in my toilet. You sit on the toilet seat and write them in concrete box and paper. All the words coming from underground. Here, the words coming from underground. That's where the words come from. Because the earth is the Lord. Yeah, the earth is the Lord, I'm sure.
First song I remember he wrote was If You Are a Big Big Tree and I'm a Small Axe. There's two named Small Axe. And he did a lot of songs for Bob Marley. Scratch wrote those songs with his hand. It's not that he wrote the songs with Bob Marley, he wrote the songs with his hand. Because when you hear him say, if you are a big big tree, it means three people, a big big tree. It was a big three. You understand? And three companies.
If you want a big tree, let me tell you that we are the small axe, sharp and ready, ready to cut you down.
When I write Small Axe, it was when we were still fighting in the music business. The fight was now Coxsone discovered that me didn't go into country and start to make records and me become his enemy. Then him and a man named Corey, that was running Federal Record, and one named Johns Benson, they planned together, it was just three of them to sabotage really little one. So I said, then if you are the big tree, Coxsone, Mr. Corey, and Mr. Johns Benson, then we are the Small Axe, ready and sharp to cut your big tree down.
If you want a big, big tree, we are the small axe, ready to cut you down.
Bob Dylan didn't know the reason why I write the song. And Bob didn't know why I write the song. Me, him just get a job to sing it. He doesn't tell him. But him love it.
Let me tell you that we are a small axe ready to cut you down.
We could work together because me love his word and he love my word. We love his idea and he love my idea, so that's why we become so successful.
Yes, me friend, them set me free again. Yes, me friend, me dip on street again. The bars could not own.
And he would teach Bob Marley how to sing his songs and how to do it.
Force could not control me now.
There is nothing wrong with that. Of course. Otherwise, it's my singing style won't reach anywhere. So sometimes when you hear Bob, you hear me. And you hear me, you hear Bob. So it's just so. Because we were working together. We wasn't fighting against each other. When it come into me and Bob work, we work one person working that you could know the difference who is who.
Without him, there'd be no Bob Marley.
They got to turn me loose.
But in true Jamaican fashion, the relationship took a bit of a nosedive.
Don't try to hold me up on this bridge now.
Pauline Morrison.
I've got to read.
What happened with Bob and Scratch is that Scratch, I think, owed some mortgage, and he went to Pattinger pressing plant and said that he would like to borrow some money to pay his mortgage. And he signed over Soul Revolution to Pattinger, but he didn't realize that it was an all-out deal. He had signed with him, he didn't realize it. So after a while, Bob decided, oh, this guy have my record pressing, and he went to him and said, how did you do this? He said, Scratch signed this. And when he looked, he said, oh, Scratch sell out my tracks. So then they made some agreement how they can best, possibly figure it out. And then from there, Bob said to Scratch that they should collaborate together to get one studio together. But Scratch said he didn't want that. He wanted us to be an individual of himself.
The early 70s saw Scratch's sound mature into something special and totally unique. Chris Lane.
His records definitely had a signature sound. Even when I first used to buy records in 1969.
Clint Eastwood's bass for Clint Eastwood tougher than even clay.
I bought records like Clint Eastwood. I bought that record the day it was released because I'd heard it on Radio Luxembourg the night before, and they said this is released tomorrow. And once I heard that intro, I was hooked. The rhythm of it, even though it is just basically a backing track, it just had a certain sound to it that I'd never heard before. And his organ instrumentals all had sort of a slight edge to them that the others didn't have. So by the time he got to sort of 1971, 72, to me he'd refined that signature sound, and you could always tell one of his records when you heard it, without looking at the label or knowing anything else about it. And when he did those sort of very early proto-dub records like Tack Crow, he was obviously trying something along with the other producers like Gigi and Miney and so on, and Clancy Eccles. But records like Cowfeed Skank, you heard that record and it was totally bonkers.
Lord God, Mastam, wake up, my teeth are cold.
Absolutely mad. He's got 3 rhythm tracks together, and he's cut in between them. He's got the Staple Singers sample or whatever it is on the beginning of it, and he's acting out this sort of playlet about a farmer having a cow stolen from off his farm, and it turns out it's all having a dig at a fellow producer 90 The Observer, because there's references to him all over it. It's fantastic, and it's the sort of thing that I don't know if it happens in other sorts of music.
Dinah, pass me my shit, give me. Make a chop off him hand.
Oh, this can.
I've never heard anything like that. And yeah, all right, he wasn't the first person to do things like that, but he certainly developed that form, and it all added to the character of his records.
It's probably not the first time sampling was used. That's an argument that would take weeks. But on Ghetto Newsflash, Station Underground News, Scratch samples the Shy Lights' Power to the People.
Station Underground reporting. News as it happens. Yeah! Here I am, your main man, reporting from Jan. At 16,000 kilocycles FM and 1,000 megahertz on the ground. Yeah!
It was an election between Edward Siago and Michael Manley. The people don't know where to go. So I hear the song with the child and say, but look like this, they're on our side. So they come a teaching verse. And God say, give the power to the people. And we just put it in for a couple seconds.
You got to give more power to the people. Why don't you give more power to the people?
On its real hard. Lay down below.
If they even did want royalty, we would pay them royalty because it was really great fun. But they didn't want any royalty. They're glad we did that because they love reggae music too. Of course they sell more records. They sell the album sell bigger. So they didn't ask me for any royalty and they didn't matter about it. They're glad.
Like a
The sound we now call dub began to emerge in 1970, but for some reason it remained relatively unexplored by the island's producers. It wasn't until 1972 and 73 that it became really popular, and the godfather of dub was Osborne Roddock, better known as King Tubby, commemorated here as the dub organiser from Scratch's album Blackboard Jungle Dub.
Now, Idrins and daughters, I now present to you episode 3 of Cloak and Dagger. Music to make you stagger, so don't be like Johnny Dollar who swallowed the dollar. Right. Good guys.
He had his own system, and he did like some of my songs. And because he liked some of my songs, he played them on his own, and I give him free dubs to play on his own. Because of competition, he played dubs that nobody else didn't have. So I was supplying him with dubs. So after he decided to put up his studio and buy that mixer from Dynamic, he said, why don't we can use his studio? We didn't do any rhythm in his place. I didn't know if his place can do any rhythm, but I know he can do voicing and remix. So I used to go there and remix, do voicing, and mix songs and give him free cut to play on his sound. So that's how far as me and him go.
They did actually work together, and their work was collected on an album, King Tubby Meets the Upsetter at the Grassroots of Dub in 1975, with one side Tubby's dub and one side the Upsetters. But Scratch doesn't remember any free flow of musical ideas between him and Tubby.
They didn't learn anything from him. He learned from me, because he learned to make dub from me, and then he was even in competition to show that he could be making better dub than me, and it couldn't work. Because there was a guy named put out a dub named Lee Scott Meet King Tubby's, something like that, at the Grassroots, something like that. And my people did prefer my side of dubbing than his side of dubbing.
Up until now, 1972, Scratch had been working in studios all over Kingston, and Randy's in particular. Pauline Morrison.
Scratch used to sometimes rent the studio for weeks. You know, it ended up, Randy's like 20,000 for studio time. From there, we went on to having a studio of our own.
A studio of their own, it certainly was. The Black Ark Studios have now passed into legend. It was a hit from Junior Biles that provided the dollars for the construction work.
We had a song by the name of Beat Down Babylon. which was selling, and he said that we would start thinking of opening a studio of our own.
Say me no like them kind of Babylon. Say me no dig them kind of wicked men. For I'm a righteous Rastaman, and I am a dread one-eye man.
The Spirit said to make the ark. So I was like visioning Noah, and Noah built the ark. So I formed the ark with the same spiritual vibration, spiritual music.
I must whip them wicked men.
I'm working out with the Spirit, and I've never seen the face of the Spirit yet. But everything the Spirit said is perfect. So when I decided to make my own studio, does the Spirit tell I to make your own studio? Because all things are possible if you only believe. Then I said to the Spirit, of course I believe, I'm a believer. And you couldn't stop me if you try.
But the actual siting of the studio in the back garden of Scratch and Pauline's house in Cardiff Crescent was a source of some dispute.
He said he wanted it on this side, and it couldn't, and I said no, because there was a pit where the toilet runs to. It couldn't be there. So he should put it at this side, and he cut down the trees, and he did all of that. And when they finally get an okay, an inspector come in, said that it cannot be there, it has to be on the other side, which I already told him that would be the best side to put it.
Oh, what a wicked situation. I and I die for salvation.
Max Romeo was a frequent visitor to the Black Ark, and as you'd expect, the house and studio were particularly distinctive.
You just drive on Cardiff Crescent and look for a strange house. That's Lee Perry. From your seat, you probably see the house, you see Lee Perry. You don't have to ask nobody. Cardiff Crescent is a short road. The only house on Cardiff Crescent that looks like Lee Perry house is Lee Perry house. You have a lot of stone that you collect from all over the world. You have a stone from England, stone from France, stone from Germany. I don't know how the hell you get them here, but you get them here. And if you go to the beach with you, and you try to move on your vehicle, feel a little heavy. If you fly the chunk, it's full of stone. He's just fascinated by stones. So there's a lot of stones in his yard. It's like rock gardens, you know, there's a lot of rock gardens there with water coming out and things like that. And you see the Rasta color and various different things in there. It's just go on Cardiff Crescent and look for a strange house.
If you know what to listen for, the sound of those very stones feature on some seminal Black Ark sides. Lee Perry's reggae sound had matured and expanded. His thirst for experimentation meant that he needed to have his own place to work. Under instruction from the Spirit, he built the Black Ark Studios in the back garden of his home on Cardiff Crescent, Kingston. But if you were building a studio in Jamaica in the early 70s, studio equipment, particularly magical studio equipment, wasn't readily available.
So I bought some cheap equipment at Edgware Road, Tiak, and my amplifier. When we started use those machines, was not professional machine, they were just domestic machine. I buy 2 second-hand Altex speaker, second-hand use Altex speaker, and then it was the Ark of the Covenant.
But although the equipment was basic, Scratch again had help from the Spirit.
And those 4 tracks would sound like 24 tracks, because the Spirit was in it. The Spirit was doing it. I don't know whatever ingredients that. I think it's the Spirit ingredients what's happened.
Whatever it was, a happy sonic accident, superior production, or the intervention of a benevolent spectral reggae spirit, it worked. Drummer Sly Dunbar has worked with anyone who's anyone in reggae, and is one half of Sly and Robbie, Jamaica's best rhythm section. He recorded endlessly at the Black Ark.
Yeah, this is Sly from Sly and Robbie. Chilling, you know, with my man from the BBC.
Welcome to Blackboard Jungle, Part 2.
He had the sound that no other studio has, and it worked for him. And up to this day, when you hear like a Lee Crashbury production, we all see him with that Scratch.
Max Romeo.
Norman the Gambler is a track that you could relate to in that respect. The guitar sound, there's some phaser that he sent the rhythm through after mixing it that gives it a kind of wow, 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 wow sound in the chop. That little noise between the chop, chop and the keyboard playing the bubble, he put some percussion in it that boosts up the rhythm so you get a stepping thing from it. Warner Babylon as well, the first 45 that we released, he took it back off the market because it was packed with that type of sound. It sounds very strange. You know, you could actually hear that wow, 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 wow type of sound happening between the beats. That's what you call it, the Black Ark trademark.
Keyboard supremo Ansel Collins played at the Ark many times.
The Black Ark sound is the afterbeat. It have a sound, you know, like if you listen to Police and Thief or anyone that tune in the afterbeat it have a sound. You know it by the afterbeat. You can't know just by the afterbeat.
So perhaps the distinctive Black Ark sound might have something to do with the afterbeat. In these days of digital rhythms and cleaned up computerised audio, when all drums sound exactly the same, it's maybe a bit difficult to understand the importance of a studio's individual character. But in this story, it's crucial. That all-important distinctive percussion sound might have a simple explanation.
I did have a special equalizer for drum. That's when you hit the cymbal, it sounds like lightning flash. A friend named Errol Thompson, he built that special equalizer. He was a little bit kinky there as well. And him know personal that I want to have that lightning sound. So I think maybe if him add something, I'll do an extra filter, it will give me that sound. And it did work.
And rather than try and imitate the sound insulation of more expensive studios, Scratch and Pauline embraced the qualities of the building itself.
We would fix the studio inside different from the other studios. The other studio would have like egg box, but it didn't, and we make the drum room really echoey, so it have a distinct sound, so you would definitely know it's an upset production.
But undeniably, the influence and talents of the producer are all important here. Effectively, what Scratch had at the Ark was a small concrete box, a load of very ordinary budget recording equipment, and some egg boxes. Max Romeo.
It was a very small studio. If you come to Black Ark and look into that studio, you wouldn't realize that a sound like that would come out of that place. But Scratch is a genius. Yeah, I respect him as a genius. He makes sounds from anything. He would come in the studio with 3 stones and he would hit it with a spoon. And each stone would give you a different sound. You have a way we would put water in a bottle. You know, you full one, half, 1/4, one, and then you get ping, 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 ping. You get that sound. So a lot of people don't know the sound that he creates is more acoustic than electronic. Then he add the electronic to the acoustic. That's why you get that type of sound.
Noted reggae musician Mikey Zappow was a frequent visitor to the Ark.
Because it's creative. It's the mind, you know. All the sound is in the head already. So no matter what equipment you go on, you know, if you're creative, you make it become the sound that you want it to be.
As well as technical creativity, it's the job of the producer to create the right vibe in and around the studio. Sly Dunbar.
I used to go there on Saturday. We would go there like 2 o'clock and there would be like musicians and everybody, singers. All the singers used to be there. People just used to hang around, and because once the music is good at a certain studio, then everybody seemed to gather there at times. So people were just there hanging out and we were cutting tracks and things like that.
Dreadlocks talking. I'm not skylarking. Rude boy gone, naughty dread.
John McGilvray owns the dub vendor chain of record shops and went to the Black Ark in the 70s.
We'd spend a bit of time there and see what the kind of vibe was and the amount of artists that were down there. Just that general vibe that all this was created out of a lot of creative people in one place, and Scratch kind of pulling all the strings and making it all kind of happen. And you go down there in the morning sometimes and he'd be straight in the fridge for a large beaker of rum and start his day off on the right note. He's this guy who made things happen, and he had a vision of where he wanted to take things to, and he was getting on with it. You know, it was interesting. As much as we were pretty naive and young at the time, you could see that he was the chemist for all this to happen.
Sly Dunbar.
It's a good feeling because it's giving the musician the vibe of the whole thing. You know, sometimes you record and a producer would probably sit there and you don't have the vibe with it, but when you look at him, you can see that the vibe is there, you know. When we were recording, he was actually mixing the record while it's been cut, adding defects. Because if you see him in action when he's mixing, it's like a show by itself. When the track is being cut and you see him mixing and punching out the stuff while the track is being cut, it's like a show, man. To see him work and mix, crazy, man.
Perry certainly didn't just sit there at the desk when recording at the Ark. There's very little footage of this time, but the DVD, Roots, Rock and Reggae, has footage of Scratch leaping about like a dervish to get the best from his musicians.
When I make music, I write the words and I have the bass line always be in my head. The bass line, the line of the bass, always in my head because that's the line that people dance off. I write the words and I also tell the bass man what to play. So I write the music here and give him the melody, what the bass play and something like that.
Some of you may remember Boris Gardner for his huge UK hit I Wanna Wake Up With You, but bass player Boris was a key member of Scratch's crack studio musicians at the Ark.
Scratch was a good producer, and he always knew what he wanted. When there's a session, we'd come around and whoever is doing the vocals, he'd come in and do his little jiggle around you and try to motivate you into showing you what he is feeling. So you would try to put it in music. He was the engineer also, so after our bodies start feeling and getting the beat together, the rhythm, he'd go around and do his EQs and balance and take it, you know. You take 2-3 cuts and listen to them and see which one he likes.
Sly Dunbar.
He allows you to play still, but he give you an idea of where it's going and the bass line attitude and the tempo of the song, and then you could take it from there, you know?
Of course, to get his whole act together, he'd light up a big spliff. About a nice 6-inch spliff. It helped him into creating. Of course, I didn't smoke, you know. It's not good for my health.
Incidentally, neither did Scratch for long periods of the 70s, and claims that it didn't actually help him create anything. Anyway, like all great producers, Scratch occasionally used what you might call unorthodox methods to get the best from his artists. Fellow producer Niney the Observer.
Sometimes when you're working a singer and you say, take that note, and that singer can't take that note, sometimes they might say, hey, forget it. But sometimes Scratch don't give up. I see Scratch working with Dave Barker one day and he says, hey, take the note. And Dave Barker was holding back. And he take that acid that you use to clean the tape head. And he drinks some and he gives Dave Barker and says, drink it, and Dave Barker, drink it. And when Dave Barker was singing, I don't know if he's whatever, he's in a different world, but the note that he taken, the nigga was like this, and Herald say, hey, cut down, step back from the mic. And things like that he do.
All in all, an incredible time and place in music. For John McGilvray and Chris Lane, skinny English white boys in their early 20s, it was quite an experience.
Scratch would take us back from his studio back to this Green Gables place that we were staying at, and on one of the occasions we invited him into the bar with all these expat English colonial types, and it was a fairly bizarre confrontation where one of the guys had a big beard and Scratch kept referring to him as St. Peter because the guy's name was Peter.
Yeah, I like to see, if I look on the person and see the personality of the person, I think that is a person that was here before. And it's hard to recognize him and know that he was here before and he come back because he could reincarnate and born again. You can't hide from me. St. Peter.
It was a fairly ludicrous time, and you know, as a young sort of 20-year-old white kid from London, it was a bit of an eye-opener as to the kind of cultural extremes of Jamaica, to put it like that. I think some of the expat locals were probably easily as eccentric as he was, so it was a fairly bizarre level of conversation going on, and we were just kind of looking at it and saying, you know, what's all this about, you know?
Let's pause for a moment. By this time, in the early 70s, reggae had slowed down to a slumbering heavy pace, and the sound of dub was king. But just what is dub music? Well, here's the definition from the Upsetter himself.
Dub music is a representation of the very beginning, and to lay the foundation, the bass represents the brain, and the drum represents the heart. Then the drum itself is the beat of the heart. That's just what makes you dance. Boom, 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 boom. That's what makes your heart, that's the way the heart beat. So you could create songs that you never known or never heard before by listening to the empty space and only listening to the drums and bass without any piano or without any guitar or without any organ confusion. So the best way to start is with the drum and bass, and if you think that you need some more instrument, the next day you go in and put in a piano. And if you listen again, you think you need another instrument, next day you put in a guitar. And if you still think it's not enough, next day you put in an organ. Then you change it. Then again, when you put it out before you mix and put out, you cannot mix all 5 or 4 instruments. It will be a little bit confused. Then maybe you can start with the drum and bass and start to drop in a little piano, drop in a little guitar, drop in a little organ, and then when all of a sudden you put the 4 back together. Yeah, it have to be until they get exactly what I'm hearing in the head. I hear the thing in the head because the bass represents this mind here and the drum represents the heart. So I always listen to my mind and listen to my heart. And my heart never wrong. And my mind never wrong.
Analysis of the essence of dub from Lee Perry himself. As well as deep, dark, dread dub heaviness, Scratch has always enjoyed working with sweet singers, and when the original singer dropped out for the session that would become Hurt So Good, he found the perfect replacement in Susan Cadogan. At the time, she was a librarian and just happened to be singing at JBC Studios on the same day that Scratch was there.
When she come into the studio and we started to give her the impression that we want her to be like, pretend that she having sex and singing. And then she was a good actor, and she started to act. And I hear the perfection in the acting, you know, yeah, this girl is an actor, and a very good actor, and that was it.
First you take my heart in the palm of your hand and you squeeze it tight. Then you take my mind and play with it all night. You take my pride and you throw it up against the wall. You take me in your arms, baby, and bounce me like a bubblegum ball. Well, I'm not complaining what you're doing, you see, 'cause this hurting
his productions at the time were both groundbreaking and experimental, but he was also capable of the refined sound that emphasised the sweetness of Cadogan's voice, rather than dominating it with his typical overdubs and percussion.
You turn right around and make sweet love to me.
The perfection is what me love, when the artist can pronounce properly, or when the artist can curve the voice. Then it gives me more encouragement to go into the music, because it made me feel more mature in what I'm doing.
The record bombed in Jamaica, but it was a different story in Britain where it reached the top 5. Incidentally, the record was signed to Magnet Records by none other than Pete Waterman. Kingston, Jamaica in 1976 was not the happiest of places. Since Jamaica's independence in 1962, the political arena has been dominated by the struggle between the right-wing Jamaican Labour Party, the JLP, and the left-wing People's National Party, the PNP. The JLP held power throughout the 60s until 1972 when the PNP took over. And the 1976 elections were fought out not only in the ballot boxes, but also in vicious and bloody street battles between supporters armed by the opposing parties. One of reggae's landmark albums is Max Romeo's 1976 opus, War in a Babylon, a masterpiece of production.
War in a Babylon, tribal war in a Babylon. Look at that, it's people out there. Who are you saying?
Max Romeo.
1976 was really a crucial year. That's when most of the violence started flaring up around the place. That's what inspired that song anyway, because it was mainly tribalism between the PNP and the JLP at the time. War in a Babylon signifies the situation at the time with the people rebelling against the system. I use the barber man don't like the dreadlocks man, the policeman don't like the dreadlocks man. It's like the whole thing was on the dreadlocks man. War in a Babylon, dread out there, it wicked out there. Them say, nice song, but you mustn't say dread, you must say sipple. Sipple means slippery. It's slippery out there, it's sipple out there.
Yeah, means to say time is hard, things are bad. Means sipple, mean real bad, that's what it means. The war is in a Babylon, so it's really simple, so let's slide.
It was very exciting. I was actually a lyricist. He was the arranger. As soon as I come up with a melody, he would find a bass line or something to match.
And you know it's true, yeah. Oh yeah. War in a Babylon.
Scratch has a filing cabinet in his head marked Dread Rhythms. Not a real one, obviously, a metaphorical one, although you never know, it might be a real one. And remember, in reggae, a rhythm means the whole backing track.
I wasn't present actually when he was putting the rhythm together. He put it together behind my back. He and Boris Gardner, Mikey Richards and these guys. Beautiful rhythm, because Bob Marley fell in love with the rhythm as well. He wanted was to do something on it. And Scratch said, no, give me a break, because I didn't really get the break I deserved yet. And he realized that. So he said, this War in a Babylon song gonna make you a star.
War in a Babylon, tribal war in a Babylon. Look at that, it's people out there. So what we do, make we slide out there. Oh yeah, war in a Babylon. Look at tribal war in a Babylon. So Lucifer, son of the morning, I'm gonna chase you out of earth.
Chase the Devil was famously, or perhaps not famously, depending on whether you listen to early 90s breakbeat, sampled by The Prodigy, amongst others.
Chase the Devil was like a gimmick tune.
I'm gonna put on an iron shirt and chase Satan out of earth. I'm gonna put on an iron shirt and chase the devil out of earth. I'm gonna send him to outer space to find another race. I'm gonna send him to outer space to find another race.
When we put that song together, I came up with the idea that Satan causing a lot of trouble in the world. We have to write a song for cramp and paralyze the devil. And he heard it and said, yeah, good idea. And we built a rhythm for it. And we didn't think much of that song, although it was saying something powerful. And then incidentally, the song just took off a couple of years ago. Prodigy did a cover version. There was another German group that sampled it also. And then the latest guy now is Jay-Z, who did a sample of it as well. So it became powerful through the effort of these guys. They helped, send it over.
Another race, oh yeah.
I'm not too much for electronic music, but I think it did work because it's musical expression. It's taking it to a higher dimension.
So we reach a point in the 70s where Scratch is approaching his creative peak. Super Ape, roast fish, collyweed and cornbread, loads more. There's just so much of it, you'll have to get hold of it yourselves. But it wasn't all great stuff. At least not in the eyes of John McGilvray and Chris Lane.
I will exalt you, Lord, my God and my King.
When he eventually got the studio in his own backyard and he kind of got it to a certain level, maybe because he started getting bankrolled by Ireland or whatever else, he had a formula that was working for him, and a lot of the ideas he kind of stopped at that point, and he just relied on that formula, which when it worked was fantastic, but a lot of the times it wasn't working so well from my point of view. Also from the point of view of selling the stuff, because we'd be facing customers on a weekly basis with new shipment of records from Jamaica, and you get stuff from Joe Gibbs and Channel 1, stuff from Bunny Lee with Tubby's dub sides, and you get the Lee Perry stuff and it would be sitting there while all the other stuff was flying out the door, sort of thing.
A man of his freedom. It's the big jump.
They sounded a long way away from the rest of the reggae mainstream. It's only records like Police and Thieves and so on that sounded really, really popular at the time. And he had a lot of other records that were just a bit too weird for their own good. When you get your own studio, perhaps you do have too much time to tinker about, and perhaps you go into it a bit too much. People bang on about those records now, but they forget that they weren't really that popular at the time.
Despite the string of hits and the complete creative freedom, all was not well in the back garden of Cardiff Crescent. Or in the back garden of Scratch's head.
This is Kung Fu, taking you on a musical review.
Max Romeo.
He had a little lime tree planted right in front of the studio. We used to sit under that lime tree and write a lot of inspiration. And for some reason or the other, he cut down the lime tree to build a urinal that nobody used anyway, because there was this lizard that took up residence in the urinal and everybody's scared to go in there, you understand? So it didn't work, and there was some spiritual thing about that lime tree, because I was very offended when he cut it down. And it's after that all hell let loose, he started acting the way he is now. I'm not saying crazy, because he's not. He started acting strange, I would say.
We'll pick up our story and take in key works like Heart of the Congos, Police and Thieves and Party Time from the Heptones. We'll also hear from Mr. Perry himself on the circumstances of the fire that would claim the Ark in 1979.
See you, be good, and be my fans forever.
Click, clap, clappity, 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 high.
Hello, I'm Mark Lamarr, and welcome to the final part of The Upsetter. We heard the story of the building of Lee Scratch Perry's famous Black Ark Studios in Kingston, Jamaica. We heard Max Romeo talking at length about his War in a Babylon album, regarded by many as the most significant album to come from the Ark. Scratch talked us through exactly what dub music is, and we left off with things going a bit wonky. Scratch had the freedom of his own studio, and going into the late 70s, he was on another planet in terms of production. Chris Lane is a writer, producer and reggae expert. He brings us up to date.
I think Lee Perry had sort of lost the grip on the mainstream reggae audience and the sound systems. I remember when we had the Dub Vendor stall, we did find it hard to sell a lot of those black art records. You know, it's only records like Police and Thieves and so on that sounded really, really popular at the time.
Singer Junior Mervyn approached Scratch with an early version of Police and Thieves, originally called Police and Thief. Scratch immediately heard the potential. After tweaking the lyrics a little, he began to lay down the rhythm.
Police and thieves in the street. Fighting the nation with their guns and ammunition. Police and thieves in the street.
It was nearly there, but not quite. He called on Ansel Collins, reggae keyboard player extraordinaire. We also met Sly Dunbar. Sly makes up 50% of crack rhythm section Sly and Robbie.
Well, listen to the song and listen to the groove. We figure more or less it will be a big hit, you know, somewhere. Yeah, very, very sweet. Junior Mervyn did a fantastic job. And the production was great.
Providing the bass on the recording was Boris Gardner. You might remember him for I Wanna Wake Up With You, but he's a very well-respected bass player, and you can hear his work on any number of Black Ark sides.
It sounded nice. I mean, when you're recording, you feel a tune and, you know, you think of Jamaica, but you don't think international, because reggae wasn't so international at that time, you know. Scratch came around and did the arrangement for the harmonies and them started putting the little things here and there, you know, and got them working together. It was wonderful.
Hear what I say. Police.
My bass line, I always remembered it, you know. Of course, it came from me.
Fighting the nation with their guns and ammunition. Police and thieves in the street.
But it was the lyrics that ensured the song would cross over in a big way. Here's Lee Perry speaking at the time of the record's release.
You listen carefully, it can tell you about the people that making disturbance are the police and the thief. When it's not the police making the trouble, it's the thief making the trouble. Otherwise, you don't have no trouble.
It was the heated 1976 Notting Hill Carnival in London that really broke the song in the UK. It provided the perfect soundtrack to the tense atmosphere, as the friendly London Bobby acted the very opposite of Dixon of Dock Green. As the Boys in Blue clashed with the provocative elements of the crowd, Police and Thieves was booming from virtually every sound system. Ireland were quick to capitalise on the response to the record, and even made a radio ad, heard here for the first time in many years.
Attention, breakout, reggae, breakout. Escaped from Island Records, Junior Mervyn. Check all record shops, Junior Mervyn.
Hear what I say.
Attention, breakout. Check all record shops. Junior Mervyn escaped from Island Records.
The song exploded and stayed in the top 10 of the NME's reggae chart for 23 weeks. It would, of course, eventually be covered by The Clash, in a version that was very different from the original and not really as good. And if you think otherwise, you're absolutely 100% wrong. Now we turn to perhaps the best album that Perry ever recorded with a vocal group, and perhaps the best album anyone's ever recorded. The Congos were originally a duo, Cedric Myton and Roy Johnson. They came to Scratch with some early versions of what would become the classic Heart of the Congos album. It was Scratch's idea to add a third member to the harmony group. Or perhaps it wasn't Scratch's idea. Everyone has a different recollection, unsurprisingly for the Jamaican recording industry. Anyway, Scratch invited the Congos into the studio. Cedric Myton.
Yes, Cedric Myton, Congos, live and direct. A lot of great experience working with that album on a whole, you know? A lot of good memories also, you know?
Well, what goes on with the Congos? They had some good words and had some good melody together, but they didn't have any special voice to represent it. Then I did use the meditation.
To add still more depth to the sweet vocals of the Congos, Scratch brought in Ansel Cridland, Danny Clark and Winston Watson. The Meditations, to stunning effect.
So the meditation is a part of the Congo, because if it wasn't for the meditation, it would not sound good. Meditation did not write any of the song, but they did lend their voice to make it worthwhile.
As usual, the album's success was only achieved by Scratch's remorseless quest for perfection.
Hey Perry, is that Jilla? It have to be until they get exactly what I'm hearing in the head. I hear the thing in the head.
I can remember one time, my meditation, I worked for about 6 hours. I do one tune, you know, and it done all 100 times, you know. When we did Fisherman, the musician that came in that first day, you know, he just called back and said, look, I think we can get a better lick, you know, make we lick it again. And come tomorrow, you and you and you and you. After doing the lead, I go back and do background vocal, you know, more than once.
It was something we built out of the clay blue sky. Miracle.
It is a great piece of work, invest in it. I could talk for many hours as to why you should own Heart of the Congos, so save me a job, please go and buy it, then send your thank you letters via the BBC. As well as really strong songwriting, exploring serious religious and social themes with a deft touch, it proudly celebrated their African heritage. And it's also got cow noises on it.
Oh, the cow mooing. Well, the cow mooing is a different thing, you know. For the cow mooing thing, you know, create by more by Watty Burnett still, you know. Create the cow thing there, you know. Show Scratch still. But what he create there, really move sound there. That cow really is not really a cow, it was Watty Burnett become the cow. At that time, you know what I mean, eh? It might sound away still, but it's a real thing.
Every morning the black sun rises. Every morning the black sun rises. It shines out of the heart of the covenant. It shines out of the heart of the covenant.
1977 saw the release of Party Time by the Heptones, a top vocal harmony trio successful throughout the ska, rocksteady and reggae eras. They were led by the great Leroy Sibbles, also one of reggae's most inventive bass players.
It's an experience that one would have to experience personally to see it. Scratch was totally, you know, wherever he was. You know, at that time, he would come in the studio, man, and he'd be telling the guys how he wants this rhythm to be. He would be dancing the part sometimes. And you in turn as a musician now supposed to pick it up from that movement. It's full of movements, you know?
Time is slipping away, and I don't get tired yet. Feel it time, feel it time. This a sufferer's time. Feel it time, children, feel it time. This a sufferer's time.
Scratch's style wasn't to Sibbles' taste.
I didn't love that recording though. That's the only recording I've ever done that I really didn't like. The Perry style, when it reached that point, was completely out of hand, out of sound. When he started that new improvisation of this, like a phasing kind of thing, that threw me completely.
Yes, you know.
did like it. well, that's the way, because he never used to those type of things. We used to have it just dry. And those days, we didn't want to have in a dry sound. We want to have something different.
I really regret that one. For real, I wasn't satisfied with that. Island took it, so I guess, it went, but I didn't like that. That's the only recording I've ever done that I really didn't like.
But it wasn't just the production style that Leroy didn't like. The atmosphere at the Ark was changing. Some might say darkening.
I was not settled in to record at that time too. I was not prepared. So the whole thing was not right. The whole mood, the whole timing, everything, I think, to me, personally, was off at that time. It was like a madhouse at that time. It was just crazy. Too much madness. The time whenever we go there, man, the place was being marked up, X all over the whole place, and inside the studio, outside, all right around the fences, the house, it was rather than high.
Yeah. People began to notice a shift in Scratch's character. Long-time collaborator and friend Max Romeo remembers this time.
He would write a word. He would look M-A-X-I-E, Maxie. Then he would say M for murder, negative. He X it out. A for atrocity, negative. He X it out. So at the end of the day, the only letter you see visual is the letter X. You see, so you could imagine you write a verse from the Psalms in the Bible and then you try to X out some letters out of it. So you see pure X's all over the place. It formed like art. If you look at it, it's like abstract art. And if you look at it in another way, you would say it's a madman write that.
A time to sow and a time to reap. Yes, my friend. You see the soul, that's what you shall reap.
John McGilvray, owner of the dub vendor chain of reggae shops, was a visitor to the Ark at this time.
You burn this naya.
Looking back to the times when we were in Jamaica, you could see the kind of pressure that the man was under. I think putting this studio in his backyard wasn't made the greatest idea because there's no escape from your work. You need to be able to get away from things.
Fajaja walk right in and cool up the scene.
Jamaica being the place it is, everybody will come to you, especially if they think that you've got something that you can do for them. And having that in your own house means that you've got no let up from that type of pressure.
That kind of pressure meant financial extortion, and all kinds of characters, ranging from pure hardened criminals to the simply unsuitable, were hanging around day and night. Perry's behaviour changed significantly.
Oh, you gonna feel when the knife is at your throat.
You need to get away and have an outlet to get away from this, and I don't think that he had that, and I think that pressure eventually got to him. I think eventually the mad persona was a little bit worked on as a way of keeping people off his back.
Max Romeo.
First he burned his car up, which was a brand new car, I could remember the time. He would take the bonnet of the car off and he would put flower spot in the engine, and then the dirt from the flower spot clogged the carburetor. The car wouldn't go, so he just burnt it. And I don't know, maybe that's when he fell in love with fire, because he started idolizing fire from that time.
Jah is a light and salvation. Whom shall I fear? Jah the protector of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid? Yeah. Hypocrite in a broad daylight, parasite in a dim light, dreadlocks in moonlight, ballad at sunrise.
A prime example of what could be described as Scratch's diversionary tactics was when he wanted to get away from some Rastas who'd begun to make a nuisance of themselves at the Ark.
The Rastas, them never want to break away from him because he's a generous person and he has money, a few dollars he could give to people. So for some reason or other, people cling to him because, money hard to get in Jamaica. But he wanted to get rid of them and nobody wanted was to leave him. So he started doing things like buying pork and put on his radio antenna and drive through town with it. They still keep coming. So what he did now to get rid of these guys, he writes on his car back, I am a Batman. That's when everybody went. Nobody wanted to go back up to Cardiff Crescent again.
We do lots of different things to get people off my back, to keep them away. When them see success, they will stick around you, and then if you tell them move, they think you want to fight, and they want to fight till they're aggressive. You have to do something. If you want to fight, they can fight very well, and you might lose fighting them. And if you are successful, it will be a pleasure for them to get rid of you, to wipe you out. So you don't do that.
Through the remainder of 1978, Scratch gradually reduced the stream of visitors to the Ark to a trickle, and then to nothing. The studio that had seen the birth of reggae's greatest productions was empty, ruined and abandoned. Perry had withdrawn almost to the point of being a hermit, his spirit weakened by weed and alcohol. His wife Pauline couldn't take it anymore.
There comes a time when I had myself to go away because I had kids to feed, and at the time he was being a gesture of himself, which was really good, but I had children to feed and there was no way out, so I had to forget about everything and, start thinking how to feed my children. When he was being on that side, I had to think about my family and the welfare of my family and try to do the best I can, to pay my mortgage, to feed them. Very hard times, a lot of hard times, really.
Pauline's departure had an even more detrimental effect on Scratch, and his mental state became ever more fragile. 1979 saw a salvage operation briefly inject some creative life back into the studio, resulting in the return of Pipecock Jackson album, but it was never really going to work. At his very lowest ebb, Lee was said to have eaten money and worshipped bananas. But if you're expecting some salacious stories of nervous breakdowns, then you've come to the wrong place. In 1981, Perry headed off to New York, where he noodled about on various insignificant projects. The burning down of the Ark has become part of reggae folklore. Writers and cultural critics have theorised about the symbolism of this moment, and there have been many reasons given for its demise. No one really knows if it was an electrical fault, or if Scratch, or perhaps persons unknown, decided to burn the studios. Scratch himself has given contradictory accounts of what exactly happened, once claiming he was so angered by the theft of a child's rubber ball from the studio that he decided it was the end. But whatever the details were, early one morning in the summer of 1983, the Ark was no more, consumed by a fire so fierce that the roof blew high into the air. Lee Perry.
What did happen? I want to play Jesus, to drive out demons out of people, and to the demon was poverty. Demons are poverty. Take over their wants and their needs. And they could drive big car and one big house. They couldn't drive any big car and one in the big house before they come to me to exchange their energy. So I built the Ark of Covenant, and I always dread that come there. I was taking out their demons and taking away their poverty. Then I was exchanging energy. So I was giving them my energy and taking them take their poverty. So much too much poverty was in the Ark now. Can me take away the strategies like poverty. Then it happened. That's how. Some people don't understand why. They say, how come you burn down such a place? But they didn't know that I was taking the people's sins. I was taking the dread sins. So if I take the dread sins, the dread will take my wealth. I didn't mind that. But then I realized what I'm going to do with the destruction that I take from them. Then the Spirit said to burn it. To burn it.
So there you have it. In hindsight, it was a kind of energy exchange, if you like. The Ark's chi needed to be balanced. Chi being the circulating life energy that in Chinese philosophy is thought to be inherent in all things. Or it could have been some dodgy wiring. Scratch has gone on to record good stuff since, the highlight being his collaboration with Adrian Sherwood, Time Boom X The Devil Dead, And of course, he won a Best Reggae Album Grammy for 2003's Jamaican E.T. He's still going strong now, but who's the real Lee Perry? Is he a mad genius? Is he a talented producer, a Pied Piper, a court jester, a hob? Phil Spector and Brian Wilson rolled into one? Is he truly mad? Since the burning of the studio, Scratch has adopted the jester persona you may be familiar with. Extravagant outfits, multicoloured hair, rhyming conversations. Perhaps this is a remnant from the time when he needed to get rid of unwanted people. Here's a few opinions hazarded over the recordings of this documentary. John McGilvray.
It's more or less entirely constructed, and I think it's a device for getting people off his back, which has probably worked quite well for him and made him a valuable commodity in his own right and made him able to pursue a career as an artist. The legend has been perpetuated by that, but I think that actually obscures the real value of his work.
Hear ye, hear ye, hear ye. This court is now in session, calling one Sylvester, the public jester from Manchester.
Yes, I, Anna.
You have been brought before I for public jestering. Guilty or not guilty?
Not guilty, I, Anna.
Scully Sims, percussionist at the Ark.
Don't deal with jester.
He's very good to get along with. A nice chap to get along with. You know, people say he's mad, but where I am concerned, there's nothing like madness in Lee Perry. He's a wise man, and he uses his head and gets you in life from where he's coming from and to where he is right now. I am very much proud of him. Not a madman, far from being mad.
Lord Jester, you have shown your face for the last time in this place.
No jestering.
Musician and producer Nani the Observer.
When he driving tractor, he was the best, and he come in the music, he was the best. And he told me that if I was a policeman, I would be the best police. So anything that he tried to do, he wanted to be the best in it.
Leroy Sibbles of the Heptones.
Isn't that stupid enough? That guy, give him credit, man. See where he reaches in life? He's no fool. He acts crazy, but he's no fool. Tell the world I said that, Lee Perry. Lee Perry's crazy, he's no fool. Leroy Heptone says so.
And Max Romeo.
Scratch is one of the smartest individuals I know. He's not crazy. Don't think for 1 minute that Scratch is crazy. It's an act, and he's making money from it. So he keeps it that way. And I like it myself, it doesn't bother me. I like to see him that way. How many mad people, live in a bloody castle with millions in the bank?
It's not quite a castle, but it is a huge and beautiful house in the mountains above Zurich. He's got everything he needs there, and he's doing fine without some of the things you might expect. Lee Perry is in fine form.
I get rid of the drinking completely. I don't smoke cigarette anymore. I don't smoke herbs.
Sun is shining, the weather is sweet, yeah.
No ecstasy, no LSD pills, no coke. My memory turned on perfect. I got back my democratic. This the song says, speak the truth and speak it ever, cause it's what it will. For he who hide the wrong, he does the wrong thing still. And the wages of sin is death, and the gift of God is eternal life. I am the inheritor of eternal life. I shall never grow cold, and I shall never grow old, and I shall never tremble. My hand shall never shake, unless I'm shaking instrument. Right.
So that's the end of our story. Check out David Katz's excellent People Funny Boy for the truly deep angle. We obviously couldn't look at every Perry recording, or even just his solo work. There's just too much music. A good place to start would be any of the records we've mentioned, or give the box set Arcology a try. Or maybe Super Ape, or maybe Blackboard Jungle, or Cloak and Dagger, or The Many Moods of. There's just too many tunes and too many moods and too many sides to Lee Perry for any album, or any radio show come to that, to be definitive. There are also far too many compilations currently available, but have a go. Lee Perry's work is never less than interesting, and often nothing less than magisterial.
Want you to know just if you can. Here I stand. No.
The Upsetter was produced by Simon Paul and mixed by Chris O'Shaughnessy. The series programme consultant was Jeremy Collingwood.
Can you understand me now, baby?
The Upsetter.